Hey guys, good morning, happy Friday. Welcome to this next iced coffee date. Have a fun topic for you guys this morning. And of course, I'm gonna remind you about the mentorship. Enrollment is now open, now through Sunday. We start next Monday. We actually have 4 spots left. We have quite the group of ladies, excited to get going with them. And yeah, if you're interested in changing your nutrition, your fitness, your mindset, your hormones, this is an all-in-one mentorship where you get to work with me for 12 weeks, and it really is a progressive program in the sense that you are gathering all sorts of information about yourself. We definitely do an assessment about what is currently going on with you, what is the state of the union, what's working for you, what's not working for you, and then bringing in pieces as far as what you are doing for fitness, what you are doing as nutrition, and then teaching you a number of skills as far as periodizing your nutrition and fitness, how to track macros, how to calculate your macros, how to adjust your macros, and then I do weave in some more advanced techniques in the sense that you are looking at your hormones and your stress levels, and we can talk about intermittent fasting and carb cycling and some of those quote unquote advanced techniques. Of course, cycle syncing, I do love it. Probably some seed cycling too. We'll talk about that too. But I really do take a very holistic approach when working with this group of women. And then by the end, you are going to have a year-long master plan that you can just take and run with. So really at the end of the day, it's all about implementing that plan, having some sort of consistency and adherence. And of course, we know all at the end of the day, consistency, adherence, time, patience, grace, all of that gets you results. It's not the quick fixes. It really is a long-term solution and hopefully a forever solution for you. Okay, so mentorship is awesome. Join it. It starts Monday. But today's topic is 3 mistakes that I see women make with fat loss. And this comes from working with clients one-on-one and the mistakes that I see again and again. So I wanted to talk about these and what you can do as far as looking at things differently and maybe trying things differently, because I do think that's kind of a theme when you hit your mid-30s, 40s, 50s. What worked before doesn't work anymore. And I actually just shared something in my feed about influencers in their 20s, and yeah, of course they all look hot and fit and everything. They're in their 20s, but when you're 30s, 40s, 50s, it becomes a little bit harder. And a lot of those things don't work anymore. So I wanted to talk about the mistakes that I see again and again with clients, mentorship, women, even people on in my DMs that I'm just chatting with. So number 1 is waking up super early to work out. And before you freak out, I do have an explanation for this because I know there are tons of women, especially moms, they're waking up super duper early to get their workout in before the kids wake up, before you have to go to work and all that. And the mistake I see with this is that these women are not sleeping soundly. They are not getting enough sleep. They are sleep deprived. They have little kids. They're waking up in the middle of the night. They have hormonal issues. They're not sleeping through the night. And then they're adding a workout first thing in the morning. I mean, that is very, very stressful on your body. If you just think about how your body works naturally, you're gonna have higher cortisol in the morning. It's called the cortisol awakening response. And it basically boosts your cortisol. Your blood sugar actually increases too. And that's what gets your butt out of bed in the morning. It does give you energy. So, once you wake up, you probably feel okay as far as your workouts go, unless you have, low cortisol at that point. And you're in the extreme phases of exhaustion, you might not feel that great. But working out first thing in the morning can be really, really stressful and drive that blood sugar up even further, which of course can lead to cravings. It can lead to hunger levels, peaking and crashing, that roller coaster of energy levels and, highs of energy levels mixed with fatigue. And it can just make it that much harder for you to stick with your nutrition plan. And it just makes it so much more stressful for the body. That's when I often see women with that belly fat kind of accumulating because they have blood sugar issues. And it could just be because you're doing too much, and I think a lot of women think, oh, if I get my workout in, everything's gonna be great, I'm gonna lose the weight. But really you could be adding more stress to your body. So if you're not consistently getting, 7, 8, 9 hours of, restorative sleep, you really could be just, spinning your wheels as far as what you were doing. And I've had many clients where I'm like, sleep in, do a walk on your lunch break, get a workout in later in the day, but don't do it first thing in the morning because it really could just be putting you further from your goals. And this is not everybody. There are some women who wake up in the morning, do their workout, go on with their day, everything's great. But if you are somebody that's struggling with blood sugar issues, energy issues, hormonal issues, I would move that workout somewhere else in the day. Even just so you can get a good quality night of sleep. I think sleep is everything. I really think if you get a good night's sleep, you can think better, your mood's better, your energy's better, your cravings are better. Personally, I know if I don't get a good night's sleep, like I am craving all the carbs, all the sugar, all the caffeine, like the whole day is just off. And think about it, if you go through like 2-3 nights of bad sleep, like everything sucks, you know what I mean? Like you're just in a bad mood, like you have brain fog, just everything is harder. So sleep is definitely very, very important. And if you are somebody who's working out hard, you're strength training, doing all that, your body needs that time to recover. And if you're not getting good sleep, you're not gonna be able to build muscle, you're not gonna be able to recover, you're not gonna be able to get to your next workout. So that's number one. Had a lot to say about that. But yeah, just look at what you're doing with your lifestyle. Maybe it's working for you, maybe it's not. I had a client actually not too long ago where she had just been rocking the morning workouts for as long as she remembered, and she had 2 little kids. She was like, I really can't give these up because I'm not gonna be able to work out at any other time. She's a teacher, so she was like, I can't work out at lunch. After school, I have things going on, then I have to pick up my kids. Like there was just nowhere for her to pick or fit in a workout. So with her, we just had her reduce the number of workouts that she did in the morning, and we shortened them. So she was doing 20 minutes or less, and she wasn't doing them every single morning. It was, she did like a Monday, Wednesday, Friday or something like that. So she could sleep on most mornings and then just to fit in like a little short like hit thing in the morning just so she was doing something. So really it's just looking at your life, and with the mentorship, that's exactly what we do. We help you problem solve and figure out what's going to work best for you. Okay, number 2 is not eating enough, and I actually wrote not eating enough down twice when I was making this list. So I think that is huge, and I do think a lot of women think if they want to quote unquote lose weight, which really goes into the whole idea of like changing your body composition, because you're doing 2 different things. You're building muscle, losing fat. There's 2 different things going on there. So when you're not eating enough, you can't build muscle, and that's really the whole idea as far as like getting toned. Like when people want to look like they actually work out and they have some sort of muscle on their body, that is building muscle. That is not burning fat, because the whole idea of like skinny fat, that's just somebody who is under eating, they don't have any muscle, and they're probably not the healthiest they can be. But not eating enough also goes hand in hand with all of the macros. It's not just getting enough protein, it's not just getting enough carbs, it's not just getting enough fat, it's getting all of those and making sure you are eating enough to fuel your workouts, to fuel your recovery, because muscle does not just appear out of nowhere. It needs some sort of stimulus and energy to build, and I think that's where a lot of women make the mistake that like, oh, I'll just keep cutting calories, this is how I'm going to lose weight, but if you don't have any muscle there, like you're just not going to get that look that you want. So making sure you're getting enough protein, carbs, and fat. Protein is obviously good for muscle building, repairing muscle. Carbs are important for helping that protein get to the muscle, but then also they're your preferred source of fuel. So if you're going into a workout, if you're recovering from a workout, carbs are like the source that your body wants. And I think so many women are afraid of carbs, and at the end of the day, I really do think carbs like just make you feel better, like energy wise, mood wise. And then of course you do need healthy fats. I do sometimes see women go super low fat, and you need fats as far as having healthy hormones, and hormonal balance definitely goes hand in hand with building muscle, burning fat, because again, if your body is super stressed and you are not doing the right things for your body, it is not going to have healthy sex hormones. It's not going to be focused on reproduction. It's not going to be focused on building muscle. So making sure your hormones are balanced is very, very important as far as I go. But a lot of that goes back to eating enough, because not eating enough or chronically under eating, very stressful on the body. I mean, if you think about it, like women who have been under eating, over exercising, they'll lose their period. And again, that's like a really big sign that something bigger is going on in the body, and the body doesn't want to reproduce. It's very, very stressed out. So just making sure you're eating enough, and planning to eat enough when you are focusing on building muscle and losing fat. And then number 3 was having unrealistic expectations. I think that is probably the way I would categorize this idea the best. So I think a lot of women are like, oh, I'll do like a 6-week challenge or an 8-week challenge and I'm gonna lose 10 pounds and look amazing. And really, I just think lasting change takes way longer, like 6 months, 9 months, a year. And that's why, my mentorship is 3 months long so we can work on this, but we are looking a year ahead of time, because those photos that you see on Instagram, like the before and the after, where, there's a woman, she looks okay, but then her after photo, she like looks amazing, she's like all ripped up, like that takes time. Like a lot of times that takes like a year or more. It's like not happening overnight. And I really do think women think it's like just a quick fix. They're gonna like get back to where they want to be. If they, undereat, over-exercise, the weight will come off. But like, where does it leave you really? Kind of leaves you in this like depleted deficit space where when you go back to eating and living your life like you normally do, like all the weight comes back. So I think that happens again and again, that, we're just expecting these quick results, and then when we don't get them, we quit. And we're not focused on the process, we're really more focused on the results. And I think the process is the most important part, because that's where you're really gonna establish habits and lifestyle things that you are gonna do, and that's really what's gonna carry you through. Because at the end of the day, it's consistency, adherence, patience, grace, all the things that I talk about. And of course, in the mentorship, we do cover a lot of this mindset stuff, because so many women come to me with this all or none mindset where they're quote unquote good for 2 weeks doing everything that they need to do, and then they're not seeing those quick changes, and then they just quit and they just go back to what they were doing, and they really never get the results that they want. And I think that's really important. And with that, I think having expectations that make sense for you and your lifestyle, but then also having some sort of plan. And I think that's why the mentorship is so great, is that I do establish these expectations, right from the beginning, as far as planning out your nutrition. Like a cut, might be 8 weeks, it might be 12 weeks, it might be 16 weeks, but this is something that you're establishing ahead of time. So you have a start and stop date for how long you are temporarily restricting your calories as far as focusing on that diet. And I do think those expectations are really helpful, because if you're spending 16 weeks, quote unquote cutting or dieting, you're gonna have different expectations as far as what you're gonna expect in, a month or 2 months versus, 4 months. I think the expectations are very, very different. And then also I think it just takes the stress and the frustration out of the process, because you know what to expect. You know how long this is going to take. You know that you need to stick with it longer than just 2 weeks or 3 weeks or something like that. And same goes for the other phases of nutrition. Like if you were in a reverse diet, like how long is that going to take? What are the expectations there? If you're going into a bulk, what is that about? Like how long do you need to focus on building muscle? And building muscle takes a long time, takes energy, takes effort, takes food. So building muscle is hard for most of us. So just having a plan is really, really helpful. And also having a plan makes it so you're much more likely to adhere to that plan, because you have it written down. Really, you just have to look at your plan and execute. So it does take a lot of that second guessing out, the frustration out, the stress out of like, is what I'm doing working, that whole idea. And then also just helps you be more consistent. And again, going back to this idea of consistency, at the end of the day, it wins every time, and it's not doing anything crazy. I always say this, like as a coach, I could give you super low macros and tell you to do a bunch of cardio and the weight will come off, sure. But that's temporary. I don't think it lasts, and I do think it like screws up your hormones and your thyroid and your metabolism, and it just kind of puts you back to where you started or in a worse place. So I do think having some sort of plan that really fits you and your lifestyle is huge. And I know I've talked about this too, but a lot of women try to put a cut or a diet into a place in their life that really it can't be their priority. They just have other competing priorities. And there's nothing wrong with that, it's just we have other things going on in life. We don't have all the time in the world to focus on just us, but finding a time where a cut makes sense for you, maybe it's after the holidays, or it's after the summer, or it's not during a busy time at work, or your kids are sleeping through the night, you know what I mean? I think that's a huge one. There's so many women that are trying to cut and their kids are waking them up multiple times at night. I'm like, that's not good. Like, you're not sleeping. You need to sleep if you're doing a cut. You definitely do. But anyways, just having a plan I think is really, really important. And like I said, with the mentorship, we spend 12 weeks coming up with this plan and giving you all the tools that you need as far as creating this plan. So when the mentorship is over, you can just execute and implement and get the results that you want. And then also have those expectations as far as what to expect when, how long to do each of these phases, and what to do as far as like your macros and your exercise and everything. I think just having that plan is huge. And I know like a year seems like a really long time, and it's not to say that you have to wait a year to see results. You could start seeing results immediately within like 3 months or something like that. Everybody's body is different and responds differently. But I just think we need like a bigger, longer time frame to really get the results that we strive for as far as like what we see on social media and like really changing your body. I just think about myself personally. And you know, I've been trying different things for like the last like couple years, and really like just recently I found something that's like kind of working for me, and it's been many, many months. You know, it hasn't been just like an overnight thing. It has taken a lot of refining and paying attention to my body, and trial and error. And I think a lot of that is what this plan is all about, because Rebecca, who I interviewed the other day on Instagram Live, she was just talking about how she had a plan after the mentorship and she changed it because, you know, things didn't work as far as timing goes. She just wasn't there mentally, and that's totally fine. And that's like the perfect reason for joining this mentorship, is that you will know how to change your nutrition and your fitness and your plan. So if you come up to a spot where you don't want to go into a cut, or you don't want to do a bulk, or something pops up life-wise, you can change your plan and just continue to move on with it and rock it. I just think it's so important. And then finally, one more thing to say, I think mentally, emotionally, all of this is really good, because I think women spend way too much time thinking about food and exercise and what they're going to do next and how they're messing up, and just all those like really, really negative thoughts as far as diet and nutrition, not getting results, being frustrated, like angry at the scale, whatever it is, frustrated about binging. There's so many emotions and negativity that goes along with it. I do think this mentorship helps in the sense that we do address a lot of that mindset stuff, and then also like having a plan does help you feel more in control of what you are doing. And I do think it takes some of that anxiety and stress out of the equation, and just helps you be consistent and persist as far as your goals go. All right, I have rambled on. I hope you guys found this helpful. If any of these mistakes resonate with you, hopefully it's helped. And of course, you know, if you want kind of an all-in-one solution as far as addressing some of these things, and you want to work with me and the other wonderful ladies who have signed up, we start on Monday. All the details are in my profile on my website. And of course, if you have questions, just send me a DM. More than happy to chat there. I've definitely been having some great conversations, and a few women have signed up. So DMs are definitely a great place to contact me. All right, guys, have a great day. Talk to you soon.